See, it's Tomer Rabinovich coming to us from Israel. What's it about midnight or something, or past midnight over there?
No, it's like 11 p.m. It's fine.
Oh, 11 p.m. All right, so not too bad. Um, so a lot of you probably know who Tomer is. He's one of the thought leaders, one of the innovators in our space. Tools like Cerebro from Helium 10 would not exist without someone or like Tomer. He was actually instrumental, and actually he was doing that manually with spreadsheets back in the day, and Helium 10 worked with him to actually do that and put that together into a software form as well as some other stuff. He's self-taught as an Amazon business owner, and he's also he's run several different FBA businesses, big team, and he also does a lot of consulting to some of the excuse me, some of the biggest names in the industry. In fact, he actually advises several of the largest aggregators on a lot of different things. He's very well respected. He's super passionate about sharing his valuable insights. And today he's like, man, I've never shared what I'm going to share today. And I don't know if I should be doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to win this prize. He's also the founder of Top Dog, which is a really cool community where a lot of advanced sellers come together, both online and in-person events. He's very restrictive on the Top Dog. Like, I'm not allowed to go. I've been begging Tomer for years. Like, when can I come? He say, never. You're a educator. This is for sellers only. Sorry, dude, you're not allowed. But that's okay. I respect that. But with his, and a lot of you may know he actually put out a book last year, which is available, of course, on Amazon. And he used every trick in the book that as an Amazon seller to make sure that book was a bestseller and rose the ranks really quickly. It's called Ride the Amazon Wave. If you haven't checked that out, you can. I think there's a Kindle copy as well. You can download that or get a copy. And if you really butter him up, he might even send you a signed copy. I know he's been known to do that. But the main thing, the point here is he just loves to help sellers transform their business and their lives, and that's what he's going to share today. So, Tomer, welcome to the $1 Billion Seller Summit.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I know I've been twice at the actual event. This is the first time doing it virtually, so I'm going to do it very differently than ever before. So, yeah, thank you. Cool.
The Lord's all yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, very quickly, so I have 4 brands of my own running pretty much on autopilot by now. I've done a lot of talks with sellers over the years, probably over 1,500 calls, all for free, mainly larger sellers. I've done small mastermind intimate groups of 5 sellers each. I've done over 50 groups like that. I'm a partner in 8 other businesses. I actually have equity in other brands and helped some sellers exit their business. And I also have my own Top Dog Summit, and I've done 4 of those with around 200 sellers all over the world. My book, Ride the Amazon Wave, also consulted Branded, Elevate, some of the larger aggregators in our space, and currently consulting Viably, which is an all-in-one banking solution for sellers. So this is like very quickly by who I am, right? And for anyone who listened to any of my talks or workshops or anything like that, this format is not my usual style, and that's why I'm going to do it very differently and dive into like a lot of data and a lot of small points because you're in front of your screen, so you can actually take that in and not like in a big conference room with a big presentation that they have to talk in like keywords, right? So this is like much more granular stuff. So this screenshot, this is from one of the sellers I'm consulting for and have equity in. So you can see they were out of stock here and out of stock here, but what the hell happened here and here? So you can see there was a big bump of sales in September and another big bump in October. What happened? Well, they went from $25K a month to $125K a month with this single product, right? And this happened only because of one simple thing, which is called variations, right? Variations, so obvious, but I can tell you like 99% of sales are getting this wrong every single time. So with variations, you need to understand that this is something I've done over and over and over again with sellers on calls. Going from 10 to 20 is a lot easier than going from 0 to 10. Okay, if you have a product selling 10 a day, it's a lot easier to get it to 20 a day than starting from scratch with a new product, trying to get from 0 to 10. Quick example of this, let's look at this random brand, right? So this brand, you can see X-ray here from Helium 10. So you can see this is doing around $800K a month, their main product. And the other products are not really doing anything. They're doing like 9K, 20K a month. the 20K a month product is nice, but it's like an expensive oversized product. I don't think they're making any money off of that. And if we check a random product here, right, like a random different weights, you can see the first one I showed is a double set. This one is a single. And when we click on Review Insights, right, we can see, oh, they have a lot of single ones. They're doing really well in terms of review share. I should probably launch a single one, right? Well, what I just said is probably obvious to you and stuff you already know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this around and show you the stuff that you don't know when it comes to analyzing variations and what you're all actually doing the wrong way. We need to understand which variation we want to launch first. We want to understand what variations to launch next. After we have a product live on Amazon, how much we need to order from each variation. What are the new variations in my niche, right? We want to answer all of these questions because you saw we went from like 25K a month to 125K a month with a single product just by launching variations. And the tools you're currently using are lying to you, okay? So I'm going to prove that to you. I love Helium 10. I love all the tools out there, but they're just simply wrong. So variations. So first of all, the obvious, right? When we have variations, we can either open a new listing to list our variations or use the same listing, right? New listing basically means like just more listings of the same product with different colors, quantities, sizes, and so on. So BSR is obviously different on a new listing and the same if you have variations of the same listing, right? Which means that all the sales with the different tools are going to appear the same. Reviews are different on when you open new listings, right? And are the same on the same listing. Ranking, you will rank multiple times on page one, right? By opening different listings, you gain more real estate. And if you have the same listing, you just show up once. And finally, in terms of sales, you can measure sales by having separate listings because Helium 10 is accurate in terms of monthly sales that shows up. But in terms of measuring sales on the same listing with variations, is probably close to impossible to do correctly. Even Review Insights is completely off. So let me kind of explain why that is. So let me open a random listing here. This is bed risers, okay? Basically, it helps rise the bed. So you can see it has multiple variations here. Go to Review Insights, click on that, and then I get this, right? What you see here is you think, oh, this is accurate. So the black 8 quantity is actually making 75% of the money here. Well, is it really? You can see that the Review Insights, the review count here, only counts like 336 reviews out of like 4,000. So how is this even close to being accurate, right? What the hell is going on here? So there is a different way we should even calculate. And bear with me here. I'm going to get to a point very soon in a few minutes. But bear with me in terms of like the numbers for a sec. So I'm trying to figure out, like, first I need to get to the 4,000 reviews. But then the other thing it's not accounted for is like, when did they launch each of these variations? Because the second one from here with the review share of 14%, maybe they launched this a week ago. So 14% is actually amazing, right? In terms of the review share that they have. So maybe they're even selling more than the first one. So the way we should calculate this is actually very different. So if we have a product with, let's say, 5 variations, and this is how the reviews distribute between each one. So the first variation, 200, second variation, 300, 100, 150, and 200. Each of them was launched in a different time, right? So this is how many days they've been live on Amazon. So the total is 2,000 days because the earliest variation is 2,000 days old. And this is sales share based on reviews only. This means I took the reviews, the 200 in the first row, and divided that by the 950 total. This is what Review Insights is doing, but again, they're not doing it for all the variations. So this doesn't include like the number of days. This is what I just mentioned. It doesn't take that into consideration. So that's like the first mistake of Review Insights. Next is the sales per month. So this is what we get from X-Ray, right? We just know it sells 600 a month across all these variations combined. And then we have the sales per month. And this is wrong. This is just taking the percentage that you see that are marked in red with the red arrow. It takes those, and it's just simply wrong because it takes that data. Now, what we want to do is we want to do review days ratio. What that means is I want to understand how many reviews each variation is getting per day on average. So if you look at the first row, you can see reviews is 200, days is 1,000. So what I did is I divided reviews by the number of days, and I got to 0.2 reviews per day. You consider the last one, the number 5, has 200 reviews and 200 days. That means I got 1 review per day on average. Okay, with me so far? So that means like this product is getting 1.75 reviews per day. Next is this sales per variation with days. So what I've done here is I actually did the correct math, saying, okay, we have 600 sales per month. We have the review days ratio, so that gives us the actual sales per variation with days, and this gives us the right amount of sales. Okay, this is what we want to have, and you can see the numbers are completely different than if you would do it with like X-ray or something else or a different tool. You can see on the bottom one here, it's like an extreme example that because this is like one of the newer variations or the newest variation, it doesn't show up when you use a tool like Review Insights. So you have to consider the number of days as well. So how can we actually do this, right? How can we pull in all the reviews and actually use this as like that? So Keepa is a tool you all use and all know probably. So if you go to Keepa on the actual listing page and you scroll down, there is something they added like a year ago called variations. And when you click on that, you actually get this. And you scroll a bit to the right, and then you see ratings and reviews. And check this out. Like the ratings is actually the 4,424. If you add all of these up, that's exactly what you get. And if you add all the reviews, that's what you get. So what's the difference between those two things? Well, ratings are the total reviews per variation, and the reviews is only those that had a written response. Okay? So the ratings is actually all of the reviews per variation, as we would want to see that in Review Insights. Why isn't Review Insights taking ratings instead of reviews? I have no idea. Right? So that was my feeling when I saw this small thing in Keepa. You can actually export this and do whatever you want with this information. Now, that's kind of what I did. I started by doing that and exporting everything and just building like a dashboard with all of this, like going into each listing, downloading everything. That's not very efficient. So what you can do is you can do this differently. So if we look at, let's say X-ray, right? You can also, it doesn't matter what tool you use. Okay, I'm going to use Jungle Scout or whatever other tool you're using. They're all wrong in this case, because if you look at this, right? You say, okay, this product is doing 42 or almost 43K in revenue per month, right? And you can see that small arrow on the left side. That means this has variations. When I go into the listing and I click X-ray again, right? And you can see the total revenue here is also off. Let me explain. So if I click on that listing, I go into it and I click X-ray, this is what I'm going to see. I'm going to see all 6 variations, right, from the product we saw before with the 4,000 reviews. You can see it has different price points. Sales are the same. BSR is the same. So what happens is the revenue shows up differently. So really what's going on here is like the revenue is only a multiple of the price and the sales for each of these variations, but it's not really total revenue for the specific SKU. It's not the total sales of this specific product, right? So everything is not correct in X-ray and in all the other tools because no one is showing you sales per variation. So what we need to do, right? And I'm going to show you like, again, the full report. And you're going to see what's going on here in a second. I'm going to get to my point. You want to take all of the reviews, and then you want to consider a number of days as well. You want to take the sales from X-ray, right? And take all of the variations from Keepa. You want to have a single dashboard so you can actually make decisions, right? You can actually know which variations you want to launch to start a new product, which variations you want to grow with. You need all of that. You need all that in one simple place so you can do all of this correctly. So, bed risers. The first step that you need to do, and I know this is a bit stupid, but you just need to click all of the down arrows here on the page, and only then you export this. Why you need to do it this way? Because you need to have all the ASINs show up. You see the ASIN column, you need to have all of these ASINs showing to use that in Keepa. So I download this to a spreadsheet, right? Looks like that. And then I copy all the ASINs from here and I paste them in Keepa. Keepa, by the way, has a website. maybe many of you didn't know. If you go to Keepa and you click on data and you click product viewer, you can actually, here you paste all of your ASINs and then you click on load list. What that will do after you download this, export this report, it will look like this. The reason you want this is because I want the sales from X-ray and I want the variation data for per reviews from Keepa, okay? For those of you who are a bit smart by using spreadsheets or whatever tool, you want to combine these two reports just by matching the ASIN together. You can use VLOOKUP, I use Airtable for this, okay? So once I put all of that, I dump all of that data in Airtable, it will look like this, okay? then I need to do some manual things. The manual things I'm going to do are just things to help me calculate it correctly. What I mean by that, so for example, let's say I want to know what is the most popular color in this niche of bed risers, right? There is no tool for that right now in our industry. So if I go to the color column from Keepa, this is what I'll see. I'll see like random colors. People are calling it black or black crowned or reddish brown and so on. So I just change this stuff manually. Okay, I just edit this manually so it will show up like that. And then I do a few more tweaks. And then I go and do a puppy report. We call this. Why puppy? Because we are called top dogs. So that's what we're doing. Let me just stop sharing, then share my Airtable here so you can see that. Okay. Cool. There we go. So this is called an interface in Airtable. Okay. So look what's going on here. So first of all, this has 55 permutations, 249 SKUs, $1 million in market revenue. Now, this market revenue that you see here is based on this methodology of variation level. Okay, based on the reviews per day, everything I just said, it's all in here. I chose Utopia Bedding, which is the biggest brand here. 2 permutations, 11 SKUs, doing about a third of the market. Now, this has like a lot of data, and you can maneuver the data any way you like. This is your own data. It's like Airtable. You can just drag and drop here, whatever you want, just to show like brand colors, right? So this brand has like 81% black, and then they have some white colors, some gray, and then the rest is brown. Then you can see here their top selling brands on the variation level. So this is revenue per variation, and this is the total sales of this parent listing. Okay, same thing for this. I can scroll and drag this like between and see all the variations for this brand. Let me scroll down a bit further to show like more interesting things here. This dashboard right here is top variation analysis. What I can do here is I can actually say, okay, show me anything that is brown color, right? That is doing over 10K a month in revenue. Again, on the variation level, right? So there are only 4 SKUs that are brown doing over 10K. Look at this one. This one is doing 30K. This is out of the Utopia Bedding, out of the 322K with 33,000 reviews. But this one is kind of interesting, right? This is brown, doing 16K in revenue out of 21, only 2 variations and 244 reviews. So like a newer product, right? Only launched less than 2 years ago. This is like crazy data right here. You can do whatever you want with. You can do sizes. You can do, again, I just take all the data from Keepa and X-Ray and just dump it in here, and then I can adjust it any way that I like. If I continue scrolling down, you see these 4 over here. I can just kind of click on the URLs here, jump to the listings. I scroll down further, and here you see these are all the new variations that were launched less than a year ago, doing over 10K a month in sales. I can obviously adjust this to whatever I want, right? And that will show up these listings here. You can see this one launched 160 days ago, only 1 variation, 4.2 star rating, and already doing 12K a month in sales, which is super interesting, right? So then you have it the same like that. And the list goes on, right, with what you can do with this. This is the most interesting part, maybe, for those that are selling like very niche products. So this is actually the title. So you can actually pull the title from Keepa as well. And if I type round over here, this will show all of the round bed risers. And then you can see the revenue. This chart over here is going to update as well. This information is like insane to me, you know, the type of information you can pull out. And again, if you ask me, all the tools right now are simply incorrect because they're not doing this. This is an advantage that you have. You can see here some other tools that we created. We have like over 10 tools we created based off of this data. Sorry, this is just one of them, right? I just want to give you a taste of this so you'll understand the power of what you can do by combining X-Ray and Keepa and going granular on the variation level. And then you can actually know what variations to launch, what actually will work better than the others. Let me jump back to my slides. Okay, so window, cool. Okay, so the other thing that I've been working on with my team is a case study on Angry Orange that we're gonna release in a few weeks. But I wanted to give you a taste of this as well. So Angry Orange is probably the most known brand of Thrasio. We are doing this because we wanted to show a lot of things that are missed, and a lot of things are missed by any brand, you know? Angry Orange is probably one of the nicest brands in terms of images, copywriting, videos, they did the ads with Snoop Dogg, right? They did a lot of things correctly, but there are still things that they are missing. If you look at their main competitor, it's this one right here. This is from a few weeks ago. They were number 2. This guy is number 1. Now it's reversed. They kind of go back and forth, number 1, number 2. You can see out of the top 4 sellers, they're actually like very close in terms of sales, right? Like both of their sales are pretty close. So that's why they're like neck and neck in terms of getting the bestseller badge. And as soon as they get a bestseller badge, like sales are skyrocket, right? It's just like a rocket ship once they have that badge. So they're fighting it every single day. Now, again, this is just one example to show, but if you look at even these 3 different competitors here, they have something Angry Orange doesn't have. What is that? You probably guessed it. It's a variation, right? So look, they have a few variations here. And this guy is just like a 32 and a gallon size. Gallon is actually 128 Oz, so they have that, but they don't have the 32 size. What do you think will happen if they just launch that? Right? Selling it for either the same price, $1 or $2 more. What do you think will happen? They will just take that badge and own it for life probably. They have a much nicer listing, better images, copy, videos, everything is better about this. They're just not giving it the right variation. They're not feeding Amazon with the right thing. And this one small tweak for Angry Orange is worth probably like millions, right? So let's look at another product from Angry Orange and just talking about something completely different. This is a product that is much smaller. This flashlight is just a flashlight you put on top of the odor cleaner, and then it shows you where there are stains and stuff like that. So this is selling like 30 units a month, 11K in revenue, fulfillment fees $386. So I actually used Signify for this, if you know Signify. So they actually helped me with this case study for this specific product. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to make this product smaller, and also the packaging smaller, so it actually becomes a small standard size instead of a large standard size, because the packaging is just too bulky, and then the product is almost small standard. We just need to shrink it a bit. So that's what we did. We rendered it, 3D rendered, found suppliers, everything, and then this is the result, right? And we also made the flashlight even stronger for like almost nothing. So the smaller packaging, instead of doing this bulky packaging, right? When you open it up, you see the battery on the bottom, flashlight goes in that empty space. Instead of doing it like this, and they don't even have instructions in it. So I don't get why to have such a big packaging. Instead of packaging it this way, you can just package it this way. So the flashlight, then they have like this nest for the flashlight itself, the thing you put on the odor cleaner, and then the battery as well. So we just, again, Signify did this nice packaging for us, and rendered it, so you can see it's 0.7 inches on the shorter side, where you can do 0.75 just to be on the safe side here. So by doing this small tweak for this product, we went from 11K per month, right, in sales, and in this large standard. With this packaging, it's actually small standard 322, and this is a small selling product, right? This is only doing like 11K a month, 300 in sales, but it still saves $600 in profit every single month. This is just one example, right? You can do so many things by just being very granular with what you do. And as soon as when you launch a new product, right, you bring like 500, 1,000 units, whatever, you just want to test it out. But as soon as you get a hit with something, you just want to be very granular with every small thing you can do. Doesn't matter if it's the packaging or the product or the variations, just zoom in very deeply and see what else can be done there to squeeze a bit more out of it. In terms of reviews, right? And this is, I think, the last thing to have. So getting unlimited reviews. If you think about, this is what a lot of people do now. So you have multiple colors, like 4 different colors. And then what people do is they launch them in different listings. Why? Because then you can sign each of them for Vine, right? And get the initial 30 units sold to Vine. And then you get like 20, 30 reviews from each of the listings. And as soon as you launch them, you can already put them together and they will all collect Vine reviews for you, right, under the one parent that you have. Now this, again, is something that a lot of you are already doing. How can you leverage this even further? Well, let's say you want to launch a black one. Let's say black is the best-selling one anyway. So what you can do, instead of bringing like 1,000 units or 2,000 units of the black one, you can do something different instead. You can actually bring 10 black colors. I use ChatGPT here, just give me 10 black colors without the word black in them, right? I just have 10 black colors, and I can bring 30 units from each, new listings for all of them, sign up for Vine, merge them all under one parent, and then merge the listings. The way you merge your listings, by the way, you just go to open a case, and you have ASIN1, ASIN2 in the description. You type merge listings. It will pop up that below. You click next, and you choose which one is the leading one. You want to choose like the best selling one is the leading one, and then everything else will just fall underneath it. By doing it this way, this right now, just so you understand, this is not black hat. This is just a loophole in Amazon that they're not blocking from us to do. So this is, if you ask me, it's completely okay to do. Right now, a lot of people are doing like the last slide that I showed, but this is something that is not a big risk. So let's say you launch 5 colors in this way, and then you can get like 150 units giving away to Vine, and then very quickly collect reviews. Obviously, with Vine, you want to be careful. You want to have good products, so you get good reviews as well. So to sum everything up here, getting from 10 to 20 is easier than 0 to 10. Focus on your reviews. Focus on your variations. See what else can be done there. You want to go after easy wins, okay, with your products. And there is a lot that can be done. Usually the best-selling products can do even more. You want to use the Keep As Variation tab. Super simple. Just download Keeper right now. Go to any listing, click Variations tab, and you will see what I'm talking about. And you can start exporting that. You don't need to do the crazy stuff I showed you. You can create your own Poppy report. Again, just X-ray, keep up, put them together, create your own thing, and just build a dashboard whichever way you like. And then launch the same colors, right? So launch the same color or the same size over and over again with 30 units given away to Vine program. And this is how you get from 25K to 125K with one single product. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. So to get slides, to get full case study of Thrasio, we're going to publish that in a few weeks. I'm also working on a Kickstarter project I'm going to be completely out in the open with in a few months, so to get that access as well. And also, I'm going to send over the next couple of days the actual report. Like, I'm going to hide some stuff there, but to send you the actual report so you can see what it looks like and click on the buttons and play with it. Just go to this link or scan this QR code. Just put your name and email. That's it, and we'll send everything to you. This is right now just going to be a generic email with the slides, but over the next few days, we're just going to send you everything else out here.